You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox on KLOS. That was Deep Purple, Burn, from the album Burn. And then before that, we had New Interpol, The Weekend, A Fine Mess EP. It is 10 after 12 bells on a Thursday. It's gorgeous out, clear as a bell.
I think I'll leave it out.
I was there. I was down in Malibu, stayed out there last night. It was so beautiful. Where do you live?
Lake Tahoe.
You do?
Yeah, I run the British Embassy up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're the mayor?
Well, it used to be. Meh.
David Coverdale, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, boys and girls.
Of Whitesnake.
Yes. How white was his snake?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that like a subliminal name for the band, Everything Sexual?
No, certainly not. No. Sexual as opposed to sexist. No.
Yeah.
It's about my willy, really.
Yeah, Whitesnake.
Yes, how white was my snake. My forthcoming novel.
That's good. That's good. And the one, Slide It In, that's not sexual.
It's a concept album about oysters. Oysters, bananas, make you take your pick. Toblerone.
Yes. Swiss chocolate.
Swiss, yes. There's holes in it.
It's triangular.
Very difficult on one's veneers.
It's not good. Why do they have it that shape? Because it's a real pain to break off.
You have to soften it in the sun. That's what I found.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's...
Jonesy's Jukebox.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. And thank you for having me here. It's lovely being had.
Yeah. So you're from Lancashire?
Yorkshire.
Sorry, excuse me.
3 Hail Marys are a knockout.
Squeeze me.
Good Lord. Yes. The likely lads. Yorkshire, born and bred, yes.
So did you have a Yorkshire accent when you was a kid?
Yes, kind of.
And you
my mother insisted on as good an education as we could afford.
And you had elocution lessons?
Aye, execution lessons. All
and
of them.
execution?
Yeah.
Electrocution?
Aye. And John Lord was another fabulous mentor. RADA, of course. The Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. The audience was firing in stits and farts. Fits and starts, excuse me.
Man.
Dyslexia rules.
Are you dyslexic?
No, I don't think so.
I am.
You are?
Yeah, especially with numbers. I always get numbers back.
There's got to be a special word for that then, surely. It's called accountancy.
Yeah. It's called robbery. So you're
drinking that crap coffee?
Well, that's all there was, and I need a little boost.
Okay.
I didn't have any this morning.
Me too.
You want some of this?
I had some of that. I feel like a new woman.
Okay. It is like dirt.
It's like old BBC coffee. I don't know. It's like little imported char winning over here. At least it's KLOS. 50 years. You should have a Keurig.
I agree. I'm glad you're saying this.
There's a bit of French roast, for God's sake. I'm an artist.
I'm glad you're saying this. I don't think there was any coffee in BBC. They never had coffee. Coffee wasn't invented in England back in that day.
Me and Bob Marley, we refused to drink it. We had to do something other than that.
I think it was just tea, right, back then?
Back then, yeah.
The tea lady.
Yes, it was, yeah. You must have done. You did Top of the Pops.
Not live. They wouldn't have us on there.
Good lads.
For real?
I'm the only artist who was on there didn't sell records the day after.
Yeah? For real?
I don't think so. Later on was grand, but I was like, there's no bump in the sales. It was very funny.
What song was that?
Oh, Bloody Mary, I think was the first time I was on. Gimme. The next one I think was on. I was on a few times, and the obligatory rock act.
What, Deep Purple?
No, with Whitesnake, the early Whitesnakes.
Did Whitesnake have the success it did that it had in America and England?
Oh, God, yeah, it's a global band.
Yeah.
Thank God, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Here we go again.
Yeah, indeed.
Did you write that?
Yes, about the breakup of my first marriage.
So you do get inspired by pain.
Everything's a diary, Broken hearts, celebrating love, how big is my willy?
Yes, the white snake.
The white snake.
12 inches of white.
An honest 12 inches. Well, it was final days, of course.
The flaccid member of...
A flaccid... Nothing worse than a flaccid member of a club.
Oh, this is good. Hold on a sec. I'm having some rotten coffee.
Yeah. You'd think that would be a hint to go down to Buckaroos, but no. Next, it'll be the Bushmills. Come along, Jordan, dig 'em out.
So what was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something very important.
Is it nice to be here? Yes. Is it nice to meet you? Yes.
Oh, no. You're a Virgo.
What at one time?
22nd. I'm the 3rd.
22nd of September. Are
Yeah.
you on the cusp?
I know. I'm the 3rd. I'm well in there. I'm well Virgo.
Okay. For 3rd
You're
of
on the
September.
cusp.
Yeah. My mum was the 1st of September, God rest her soul, and she never forgave Hitler for invading Poland.
On the 3rd of September. War was declared on the 3rd.
First. Yeah. Oh, it was?
He invaded.
On the 1st.
But then war was
ruined
declared.
her birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. Totally Virgo. Married to a Cappy, assisted by a Cappy, Capricorn. Yes, it's all fun and games in my circus.
Are you attracted to a similar kind of lady then? Is it always a similar?
No, I've never looked at it that way. I'm attracted to the cut of your jib.
Really?
Yes, I noticed that when you sashayed in the room.
Yes.
He doesn't walk, he sashays, boys and girls.
I float in.
He floats in, diaphanous, you know.
My bottle and glass.
Charming, yes. Derriere.
Oh, man.
Anyway, boys and girls, it's all fun and games. Welcome to Jukebox Joint Half Hour.
Jukebox Jury.
Jukebox Jury with David Jacobs and Brian Matthews.
Yeah.
I was getting showered this morning with an old 60s playlist of all those old BBC recordings of the Stones,
Yeah.
The Pretty Things, Five Live Yardbirds, which is, you guys didn't get all that, but Five Live Yardbirds was like, we had to have that. These white guys playing blues rock, you know, Bo Diddley stuff and Billy Boy
Yardbirds.
Arnold. Oh, my God, yeah. But Five Live Yardbirds.
What is that?
It was a live album done at the Marquee.
Yeah.
And that was part of my playlist this morning, all this Gina Washington's Ram Jam Band and Jimmy James and the Vagabonds.
Yeah.
And part of it are from these BBC recordings with Brian Matthews introducing.
Yeah.
And here, boys and girls,
Yeah,
are another
yeah.
song from The Pretty Things.
Yeah.
Why did you grow your hair so long? You know, just fabulous
Yeah.
60s
Yeah.
blather. You know?
Yeah. Of course, the only other 60s thing I remember was Ready, Steady, Go.
Yeah. With Kathy McGowan
Yeah.
and...
What was his name?
Wilt Chamberlain. No, Kareem
No.
Abdul-Jabbar. No, I'll get it.
Harold Wilson.
Look, it's on the tip of my tongue. Harold
Yeah.
Wilson.
What was his name?
Who are these Beatles?
Who was that guy? Dark
David
hair.
Jacob.
No.
I can see Keith Fordyce.
That's it.
Fordyce or Forsyth?
Forsyth. Forsyth.
Bruce Forsyth.
Yeah. What was his?
I'll name that tune.
What was his saying, Bruce Forsyth?
Oh, it's...
Oh, you are
no,
awful.
I just went straight to Larry Grayson.
Oh, you are awful.
No, that was Dick Emery.
Oh,
He had a board named after him, I think. Emery board.
and Blackboard. Didn't.
I think that was somebody else.
What was his thing? What was his? What
Whose
was
thing?
Bruce Forsyth. What was
Nice
his?
to see you.
Nice to see you.
you.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's it. Didn't he do well?
Oh, God, no. More crap. I need... Go and see the Fabulous Elise for some of Stevia. if
Go
you
and
would,
see
Mark.
the concierge.
It's from what?
This is great.
Oh,
radio.
my God. Should we
Didn't-
drink this or sniff it?
This is another one. Didn't he do well? That was
That's
another,
Bruce.
That was
That's
another
Bruce,
line,
yeah.
right?
God damn, I'm reduced to granulated sugar?
Reduced.
Yes. Yeah, so where are you living?
I live up.
I mean, not the actual address.
Well, no, don't worry. I would never say the actual address. Number
But
one.
you're in Los Angeles.
Number 1 Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, sexy.
No, kidding.
Where the hell is that? Near Paris?
No, it's in the middle of the ocean. Benedict Canyon. Do you know where that is?
I remember him. He tried to sell this country to the British.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Arnold.
What are you talking about?
It was a fucking
Yay!
history
Hey!
lesson. It was a flipping history lesson. As Mark, involuntary bowel movement on the right here.
It's the coffee. The
This
coffee's
coffee goes
kicking in.
right through you.
Kicking in. Oh,
What a ripping yarn this is.
this is good stuff, mate. This is what.
Oh
this is
my
gold.
God, this definitely needs a drop of Irish. It totally needs. You can't drink this on a daily basis. Your insides will be compromised forever. Oh, sorry. Where were we?
Where
Stephen?
was we? No, just on the radio. It's okay.
Chelsea. Yeah, baby. I remember Chelsea.
Are you a football fan?
Chelsea handler.
Yeah, you like that?
Oh, well, Middlesbrough was mine, but I lost. We never had the internet when I started. It was, you know.
Nor did I.
I was a dinosaur at 26.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Chelsea handler. I thought that was her coat of arms.
No.
Hi, Chelsea.
All right, big man. So you got a new album coming out.
All right, Flesh and Blood.
Is it out May 10th?
May
Comes out.
10th, yes. But we've just had...
Single, Shut Up and Kiss Me.
Well, actually, we're on to a new one now called Trouble Is Your Middle Name.
Yeah.
Soon to be followed by Hey You, You Make Me Rock.
That's going to be the third single.
I think the third, yeah. Trying to
Pardon.
get as much as possible. We're doing a month in the magnificent United States prior to all the festivals in Europe. So, yeah, so we couldn't get the album out early enough. So we're trying to get some of the new songs that we feature in concert, at least some awareness of them. The worst thing at a classic rock band is here's a song from the new album. That's when everybody goes for a pee or a cocktail or something.
You're right.
But we're determined to keep them focused and attentive.
Lock them in. Don't let them out.
The Whitesnake Choir, here, learn it. So, yeah, but we just released a 7-disc 35th anniversary. Are you fondling yourself?
Can't
You
help
are.
it. I'm
He's
looking
fondling.
at you and
Mark,
fondling.
I know, he's fondling over here. Step right this way. No, we just released number 1 in the UK, Slide It In, a 35th anniversary 7-disc box set.
Yeah.
So it's pretty happening. Yeah, everything's pretty good right now. It's
Yeah.
all is rosy in the garden.
Yeah.
So
The
champion,
new
looking
video.
forward to.
The new video
New
has the
video is
same
doing
Jag in
cracking.
it.
The old Jag, yes. Yeah, that car could get laid on its own.
Now, is it your motor?
Yes, no, I didn't borrow it off anybody. I did. I've had it in storage for 30 years.
And you
And when
got
we
it-
were talking about like inserts, we were going to put it outside of a mall in Reno and just have people crawl over it. And my co-producer went, then it'll be absolutely ruined, David.
Yeah.
So we kept it in a controlled environment. It's a performance video in my studio.
Yeah.
And nobody was allowed to do cartwheels. That was it.
Yeah.
And I could still get into my Anthony Price raw silk suit, which was pretty happening.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it went over very well. We hit over 1 million views in just over a month, which is pretty happening for a classic rock band.
Yeah, yeah. Is it a Van den Pla? The Jag?
No, that Daimler band thing.
Daimler.
No. This was just a sexy,
V8?
V12.
V12?
You know what? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I cannot remember, but it was a very lucky car for me.
Yeah.
And we were I was going to sell it to the Hard Rock franchise when they had some money. But the
Good
guy
luck.
who was doing the negotiations was found mysteriously dead in unusual circumstances.
Really?
Yes. So we put the car in storage, and it was perfect to bring it out of storage just for this very magical moment.
Did you have to get a new battery? Was the battery
Oh,
dead?
well, we stuck it in the Jag place for a couple of weeks. It's like, 79, 80 or
Yeah,
something.
it's a long
So
time.
they hadn't seen anything. So a lot of the parts for the car, they don't make. We had to go on eBay and all this and find
Wow.
Jag enthusiasts. But when you see the car in the video turn around the corner, Jesus, the car could get laid on its own.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. But why don't they make sexy cars like that anymore?
I mean,
they
that-
couldn't have done it on a VW Beetle.
No.
Yeah, that would not have worked.
Or a Ford Angular.
Or Angular. He is dyslexic. Ford. Yeah, Ford. It was an XJ. Thank you, Mark. It was an XJ6 Series 3.
6.
Jesus, I had no idea. How do you know? Wikipedia? You're online, aren't you?
I guess the XJ6 is 6-cylinder, I would imagine.
Why are you asking me car questions?
I'm not asking
I can
you.
just afford them. I don't know how if they
No,
don't
I know.
turn on. I don't know what they do. Gets me from A to B. Ask Elise. She drives.
Yeah, I'm not a buffin either. I just
Just
like
showing off.
a few words. I
Taking
like.
advantage of an old Yorkshireman.
Yorkshireman.
Where are you from? You're Welsh name, but were you Londoner?
No, I'm not actually. I'm not Welsh at all. I thought I was. I did that swab thing a couple of years ago. You know the.
Oh, yeah.
The,
yeah.
um,
are those? I
who
think you have to
knows?
have a couple of checks on them.
Who
those
knows?
things.
Who
Because I'm
knows?
trying to trace back to Bishop Miles Coverdale, who translated the New Testament. I want those royalties. Are you kidding?
Yeah. It should be handed down.
Copyright, mate. It's Coverdale. You kidding?
I'm
Here I go again, Bishop Miles. What am I holding this jag thing?
get that
Paper.
Get it out of here. So that video
Which one?
with the Tawny Katane.
Oh, yes.
mean-
The Tawny Katane.
Or Tawny Katane.
Yes.
That was that was just like magic.
Yes, completely.
You
Iconic.
didn't know it was going to be like that.
Of
but
course not. No, I was $3 million in debt
yeah.
for about 5 minutes, and then it just flew.
But that album, what was that album called?
The eponymous Whitesnake album, referred to affectionately as the 87 album.
yeah.
Although it was pretty much done in 85.
But that put you well back on the map, right? I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely. MT
Oh,
radio
crossover.
Well, radio like KLOS, plug, were very supportive of Whitesnake on
Yeah.
the Sided-In album. It was my first album with Geffen Records. They were thrilled with what we achieved, etc., etc. And then when we came out with the 87 album, radio was completely primed for it. So salutes, boys, and girls. But MTV was the new element.
Right.
So suddenly, and that was lightning in a bottle
Yeah.
for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
All over the world, Whitesnake became a global entity instead of being big in Japan and Belgium. Yeah.
Belgium TV shows. Remember them?
Yes, darling.
How depressing were they? Oh my God!
I needed a stash of what was it called? It used to be my house beer. It's a Belgian Trappist monk beer. Come on, somebody call in. What is it called again? With a C. Belgian Trappist monk thing, Marcus. Come on, commence the typing.
He wants a piece of paper.
Shami.
What about the beer?
No, it's amazing. I think it has monk's feet in it or something. Chimay. Chimay. It's to die for, boys and girls.
It has a Harry Monk in it.
It's called Bits of Monk. Bits of Monk. It's a naughty habit. What's the bald spot on a monk's head called?
What?
I don't know. I was asking, wasn't I? I was asking.
Google.
Google away, Mark. Earn your money. Good Lord.
The bald bit.
The bald bit.
Why do they have the
Pate?
bald bit?
It's not a pate, no. It's something else. It's
Do they cut
something
that?
with an S. Oh, it's definitely shaved off, yeah.
That is ridiculous. It's like, we're going to make you look as ugly as possible so you don't get hold of any birds.
Well, but they got hold of other things, I think.
I've heard all about it.
But I do recommend, there's a place called Andex outside of Munich, where they also make 3 strains of beer. There's strong, very strong, and brainless.
Yeah.
And the brainless beer is black, and that's what I've written an awful lot of Deep Purple early songs on, with this brainless black beer.
Crazy.
Scary.
Was it
Yes.
like Guinness?
Oh, I love Guinness, but it's not like Guinness. It's an entirely unique
It's like a beer, because Guinness is what is
stout.
Stout.
Yeah,
A
so
stout.
meal in a glass, mate. I have it twice a year with a shot of Redbreast or Middleton as a salute to my mother's birthday and her passing. So, and also whenever I get to Ireland, I have it on draft, of course.
Yeah.
Which is, it takes about 2 days to pull a pint, but
Yeah.
because it's a little bit lively.
It's like tar.
But it's to die for, to drink.
I used to drink back then with Phil in Dublin. He took, when we went to Dublin.
Beautiful soul.
Yeah.
Lovely soul.
And I used to cane and it used to hit you real quick.
Oh, God,
I mean, I
yeah.
was lagging after about 3 pints.
Well, they do this. I think it's called a widget. You can get these Guinness bottles now that keeps some of the foamy aspect to it. But there's nothing beats having a pint of draft Guinness
Drawn.
in Belfast or Dublin. Yeah.
Out the,
To die for. To die for.
what do they call the thing? Out the tap, right?
You were close with Phil, weren't you? I loved Phil dearly, desperately. I thought he was a beautiful talent, beautiful soul.
Did
and
you-
here's something you might not know.
Oh.
Before I got the job with Deep Purple, Richie Blackmore and Richie Blackmore and Ian Pace. Richie Blackmore and Ian Pace were actually secretly jamming with Phil at Richie's house.
Behind your back.
No, I hadn't joined at that
Okay.
time. I was one of the reasons I think Richie stayed, because he was looking for one of the best compliments I've ever had is that he said, I wanted a man's voice.
Yeah.
And you brought it in, and I got all twitchy.
Yeah.
Twitchy Blackmore, you know. But the so once I got the gig, that was off the table, you know, because he was unhappy the way things were going. There was a great deal of friction at that time that one discovers. I was a kid. I got the job for my 21st, you know.
Do you still speak to him, Richie Blackmore?
Oh, yeah. We got in touch in 2012 after losing John Lord, after 30 years of very disagreeable, competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge epiphany for me. John had called me to tell me he'd been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Of all the cancers, that's an evil bastard.
The worst.
Well, they're just. But he said, "Will you be there for me, Davey, once I kick this and do something Purple related?" I said, "I'm there for you, completely and utterly." And I dug out the old Purple stuff. I'm not really a nostalgia guy, so I dug the albums out. I was going, Christ, I hope he's into doing it a bit more contemporary. Or the playing was great, everything was solid, you know, but it was still. I was a kid, you know, writing these songs, and of course, sadly, he lost the battle there. Then I lost my favorite aunt, who'd introduced me to the music of Elvis Presley and Little Richard and Chuck Berry and all this stuff as a teen. She was a teenager. I'd spent most of my childhood with my maternal grandma, my nana. So for 50 years, my aunt and I would speak every week, wherever I was in the world, and ended up talking about music. Yeah. It was just that kind of beautiful. So I lost her. My wife lost a beloved brother. All of this small window. The house was covered with like a black drape of grief.
Yeah.
And both my wife and I go, well, what are we supposed to learn from this extraordinary emotional grieving experience? And mine was to bury the hatchet with as many people or reconnect with people. I didn't want to lose any. John knew I loved him.
Yeah.
I've told him on repeated occasions. He was immense in my life. At my audition, you know, too long a story to go in this kind of feature, but he was huge in my life, and I had the pleasure of working with him. He helped me at the audition, just talking to me like a beautiful friend, uncle, you know, and helped me drink the bottle of Bell's I'd snuck in.
Yeah.
And then he asked me if he could join Whitesnake. So we had an fabulous bond and a tragic loss. But his work, of course, is immortal. That's the great thing about actors or musicians or whatever, even though we physically can't see them, to touch them, to hold them and tell them the work they've done is still with us. It's alive and as vibrant and as vital and relevant as ever. But that's when I reached out to Richie to say, you know, I don't want to hear something's gone wrong with you or whatever. I just wanted you to know I love you. And I appreciate everything you did for me. The opportunity was ridiculous. You remember Opportunity Knocks?
Yes.
You know,
Open the box.
I'd never made a record.
Take the money.
I'm the only guy they auditioned, and I got the job.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, to put your faith in the size of band. I had no idea. I'd just seen them on Top of the Pops a few times.
Yeah.
I thought they were big in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
You know, I had no idea there was this global entity. This was beyond my North Yorkshire vision.
Yeah.
You know, and so I just wanted Richie to know, after 30 years of bullshit between us, to say how much. Did you get the bleep? Oh, well done. Top of the class there, Jordan. To say, you know, thank you so much. And we reconnected and chatted, and he was very, very complimentary with what I'd achieved and very, very derogatory about his former colleagues.
Yeah.
So, but that was really cool, and I wish him all the joy. To me, so that's done. Mission accomplished, you know, reconnected, and wish him well. Let's get on with our lives and just don't die soon.
Yeah, yeah.
This is horrifying.
It's good though, it makes you talk.
No, it doesn't. It makes me want to go to the bathroom, I swear to God. The last time I had something like that was called a barium meal.
We're going to play...
we're going to have music?
Yes.
I thought it was a jukebox.
Shut up and kiss me.
Shut up and kiss me. Don't keep your hands to
Not
yourself.
you.
Stop fondling.
Jonesy's Jukebox, KLOS, with my guest, David Coverdale.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox, KLOS. That was Thin Lizzy, Don't Believe a Word. And then we had new Whitesnake, Shut Up and Kiss Me.
Shut up.
From the forthcoming album, Flesh and Blood. Out May 10th.
You coming here?
You're coming here?
You coming here with your shut up and kiss me badge?
If you're wondering whose voice that is, that's Mr. Coverdale's.
Barry Whitesnake.
Yes. White snake.
How white was it?
Massive snake.
So, Phil, you knew Phil.
Yeah.
Beautiful boy. I remember we were talking one night. I took actually Lizzy on the road with me because John Sykes had been recommended. And I wanted to check him out discreetly. And this is like when Phil was on the downward spiral, sadly. And,
they actually went out. Thin Lizzy actually went out with Sykes singing as Thin Lizzy for a while later on.
Later on, much
after Phil
I think the mum stopped that, didn't her? Didn't Phil's mum stop that?
Probably. She's a powerhouse.
And she has good taste.
Yeah.
But and John, I thought John was great. I love Brian Downey. If Brian's not involved, then there's something weird going on, you know, because he was like very much part of the heart of how Phil would play, and Brian was just great. I love Brian Downey and Scotty. I love those guys. Brian, I knew. I was trying to hear that while we were talking, if it was Gary on there or if it was Scott.
It wasn't Gary.
Brian. Was it Brian?
Gary only came in on the last album.
Yeah.
Black Rose.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Gary Moore.
Gary Moore. Gary.
Yeah.
The last local show I did was supporting Skid Row with a 17-year-old genius, Gary Moore, before I went down to London to join Deep Purple.
Yeah.
And their tune-up amps were bigger than our amps, so you could hear them jamming backstage while we were trying to play. Baskets.
Bastard's okay.
It is?
Bastard's okay.
Well, I was a big fan of your Greedy Bastards.
Yeah, we did. We had a used to have a good time with Finn. I was hanging out with him a bunch. I'd get out with Lizzy, do a song with him up in Birmingham at Hammersmith Odeon, and then the Greedy thing happened, and that was a good period. It got dark.
Was that Kenny Everett? Didn't you do Kenny Everett? Yeah. I remember.
It got dark at the end, you know, with the naughty stuff, but he was great. He liked to laugh.
He's a beautiful boy. Beautiful
fun.
soul. Yeah. We were talking one time. He was. We were both new parents, and he was working so much. I'll never forget. He said to me, "I'm like the guy who comes home bringing presents." You know, and I went, "Oh Christ!" And that was a big wake-up call for me, not to be that guy buying something at the duty free on the way home, from a tour for my daughter. And,
duty free.
But that was,
Does that still exist?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't bother.
I don't care. No.
I
did when I smoked.
200 packet of fags.
Yes. Robert Clark, can you get me some Winstons?
It's almost Spinal Tap, isn't it?
It's total Spinal Tap, which Ozzy thinks is like the story of his life, that somebody...
Yeah, of course.
But, Cozy Powell, God rest his soul. I've never heard laugh so much, either an episode of Rising Damp or Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
You know, and I was in a booth while Rob Reiner was selling the idea of this British rock band to some producers. I kept turning around to him like this, and he's going like this. And I met the guys in the Hyatt one time. They were doing some shooting there, the Riot House on Sunset. And they were just stayed in character. Because I didn't know the SNL series with... Christopher and Christopher Guest, and who was the other one, the blonde guy?
Who's the bloke who came on here?
Michael McKean, I didn't see that SNL season, so these guys were new to me. Harry Shearer, you know, so they were. I'm going.
He came on here.
I've never heard of these guys. They're great. Big bottoms guys.
He came in here, Harry Shearer.
Oh, sweet.
Totally in character. Wouldn't step out.
I'm kind of mud.
It's brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Did you know Bill? Did you know Bebop Deluxe?
Bill Nelson's big red nose. No.
He was from your neck of the woods, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Yorkshire.
Paul Carrick was up there. Paulie Rogers.
Yeah.
And Trigger, which is what we suggested the band should be.
Trigger?
No. Paul Rogers. Oh, Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers and Trigger, yeah.
Sorry.
You must have liked Paul Rogers' voice.
Oh, fuck, Paulie's great.
He swears again, this guy can't stop swearing. He's worse
Oh,
than the
did I
Sex
swear?
Pistols. He's worse
It's
than the
quaint
Sex
old
Pistols.
accent. Where do you think you guys got language from? You're lucky you're not speaking German. We won English when they were deciding by 3 votes. Otherwise, we all would have been, how if he gets there? Stephen.
Your peppers are in order.
Yeah.
It's good, yeah?
Yeah, so we won. I was either Dutch, German, or English. Unfortunately, the King's English won.
There you go.
But, yes, quaint Anglo-Saxon. Sorry, boys and girls. Oh, that went in well. That was almost stereo.
What we got there, Shovel?
Another new song.
You want to hear another new song of yourself?
Of myself? Yeah, let's do Trouble Is Your Middle Name.
Trouble Is Your Middle Name.
Is that what you planned anyway?
Yeah. He's on the ball.
It's a setup.
He's on the ball.
It's a bloody setup. Kenny Everett was something else, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. David Coverdale of Whitesnake. Jonesy's Jukebox.
Stephen Jonesy.
Jonesy. No song, Whitesnake. Take it away. All right. That was Trouble Was Your Middle Name?
Serpente Blanca.
Gotcha.
Weisserschlange.
It's your papers. I know nothing.
How do you want to finish this off then, Stephen?
Well, I don't know. You're out.
Come on,
here.
Jonesy. What do you want to do? Jordan? Mark? Come on.
Come on.
Where's those chicks? Where they've gone? Are they still
Where's the
filming?
birds? Where's the birds?
Where's the birds?
They're round the back. They're round the back.
What are you doing over there? What's that suspicious sniffing?
No, I don't think there's any of that going on here.
I don't know. Perfumes?
Yeah.
Flowers?
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know what you're inferring.
Incense of peppermint.
Oh, incense, yeah.
So
Essential oils and incest, isn't it?
Incest.
Oh, incense. Sorry, incense. Dyslexia. It just does it
telling
every
you.
time.
Telling you.
So what are we going to do now? Come on, Mark. What do you want?
We're going to knock it on the head.
We're going to knock it on the head.
New album is coming out May 10th.
Oh, it's like the David Letterman show. I love it.
Did you know that? You've got an album coming out May 10th?
May 10th, Flesh and Blood on Frontiers, boys and girls. Frontiers, the Italian record company that cares.
Did you do an interview for Blackmore when he did that documentary about himself?
Yes.
You are in it, right?
Yeah, because that's after we'd kissed and made up.
Okay.
I said, shut up and kiss me.
Was John Lord, did he have a big part of the chemistry in he was
Huge. Him and Richie were
the main dudes, right?
I attended the University of Deep Purple, and those guys were John and Richie were my professors. John had this astonishing, it's very hard to say, but his organ was a huge part of the Deep Purple sound because it became and a fine organ it was, thrashing it around the stage as he did.
Yeah.
But the left hand of John Lord's was a very signature part of the Deep Purple sonic identity and Whitesnake. And the guy was a gentleman, raconteur, bon vivant. He's a soul that is missed. But we actually feature on this box set I was telling you about, John just soloed and Cozy, just to hear their independent performance from the tracks. And it's just breathtaking. John was, when Richie and I were talking about maybe doing something, and he said, well, who would you go on bass, Roger or Glenn? I said, well, Glenn and I are soul brothers. We're the Unrighteous Brothers. And he said, keyboards? And I said, there's no question, Keith Emerson. You know, because Lordy and John and Keith had like a friendly rivalry, but huge respect for each other. And obviously, same generation thing. I think the Purple fans would have embraced that without that there was no disrespect. There's nobody to replace John Lord. As always, irreplaceable. But, you know, I think Keith, and sadly we lost Keith now, you know.
Yeah.
But this was 2012, you know, we're talking.
When you wrote songs, how did it go down? I got an idea on the guitar. I've got this, or was it?
Oh, in terms of John?
Yeah.
John, we were sitting in Clearwell Castle working on the songs for what became the Burn album, or Bert, as we were affectionately calling it. Bert. All I hear is Bert. And John, we were just chatting in the crypt where we were rehearsing, and he said, you know, Richie can come in with any old riff and just turn up the 100-watt Marshall and stuff and sell this riff. If I played Smoke on the Water and he plays it on the organ, it's not a sell. I said, well, let's work on chord sequences instead of riffs. You know, and we came up straight away with Might Just Take Your Life, which was based loosely on, I heard it through the grapevine, Marvin Gaye. And Richie dug it, and all the band dug it and contributed. You know, the thing with Purple, as probably with your guys, it doesn't matter who really wrote the song, they all contributed to the idea and the identity to help sell what the song was.
Yeah.
But my God, I mean, and I've always worked with great players in a local capacity, but these guys were genuine stars and looked after me great.
Yeah.
Much better than the management did.
Yeah.
The band were great, yeah. But it was lovely to resolve the Richie, DC animosity. You know, Glenn and I are friends. We communicate almost daily. We got Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a couple of years back, which was fantastic. And Richie Blackmore, I say in my speech, the guy, the existing Purple, refused to go if Richie was going to be there. And I called Richie and I said, come with me, nobody's going to hurt you, dude. He goes, I can't be bothered. And I said in my speech, if it wasn't for Richie Blackmore, none of us would have been standing here. But knowing Richie, he would have taken a water pistol and started a fight. And with that...
Thanks for coming by, buddy.
My pleasure, darling. I'm off for some sushi.
Good luck to you.
And some vape. You can say that, can you? The vape?
You smoke, huh?
Only, well, not. I used to. I used to be the Bette Midler of rock. Bette Midler. Bette Davis. Bette Midler. Sorry, Bette.
Sorry, Betty.
Hello, Dolly. No.
Burt Lancaster.
Darling, he used to cry. No, stop it. All of these old Hollywood stories.
I know, it's all come.
Anyway, crack it
It's
to
all
me.
flooding back.
Lovely. Thank you,
Jonesy
Jordan.
Jukebox.
Thank you, Mark.
See you in a minute.
On the next Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
An all-new